Heartbeat Alaska would like to thank the following sponsors for making our show possible. Brown's Electric. Thank you, Brown's Electric, for your generous support. Heartbeat Alaska is also brought to you by Frontier Flying Service. Thank you, Frontier, for getting Heartbeat Alaska airborne.
Heartbeat Alaska is made possible by Kupik Carlisle Transportation, your full-service transportation and logistics company.
And a special thank you to Scan Home and Scan Office Furnishings.
1, 2, 3, 4, let's go.
It's Heartbeat.
It's a fabulous show.
Alaska.
Hi, Heartbeat Alaska.
It's Heartbeat. Alaska.
Pull up a chair and enjoy the show.
Hear it from Sitka to Barrow. Gather around for Jeannie's show. It's the Aleut, the Indian, and the Eskimo. It's the Aleut, the Indian, and the Eskimo.
Welcome one, welcome all.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Heartbeat Alaska Native News and Information. I'm Jeannie Green. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, we take a look at a problem that has invaded the lower 48 and is creeping its way into Alaskan lives. The problem is diabetes, and it's preventable. We travel to the Norton Sound area, thanks to Norton Sound Health Corporation. We take a look at what they're doing to prevent diabetes and where it's heading.
We're driving 70 miles an hour towards a brick wall, and that is going to hit us eventually as the population ages.
It's becoming a huge problem, and a lot of it is just a change in lifestyle.
A person doesn't have to exercise regularly in their daily life in order to get by. For example, they're not walking behind a plow.
You know, if you look back 50 years from now, people then were a lot more active, a lot more mobile. You know, they had to walk to places or maybe even dog mush. Whereas now we have the convenience of transportation. We have snow machines, we have four-wheelers, we have vehicles. Back then, a lot of people ate natural foods. You know, we picked a lot of our own stuff from what the land offered, whether it was berries or greens, and then hunted too. So now in the stores we have a lot of processed foods. You know, we have fast foods and that sort of thing. So there's just been an increase, I think, in I guess you can say unhealthy foods.
They're projecting that within 20 or 30 years, about 1 in every 3 people, 3 to 4 people in the country will have diabetes.
It's a very chronic disease with very severe complications.
Right now, it's sort of smoldering, and not everybody, I think, is seeing the fact that we are speeding towards this brick wall. But in the coming years, I think that'll become more and more apparent.
Diabetes is such a common disease, a disease common in many areas of the United States, too common in fact. In fact, it's common around the globe. Eons ago, when mankind first began exploring this earth, he found a planet stocked with life, plants and animals providing an array of nutrients perfectly suited to his dietary needs. The process of gathering food and providing for others kept him active, and a balance was formed between what he needed and what he used. Then came the Industrial Revolution of the 20th century, and everything changed. Mass production led to far more goods and services being created with far less effort. Labor-saving innovations like the automobile made it possible to travel great distances quickly. Food processing techniques and chemicals were developed to prolong shelf life, protect against insects, and enhance flavor. These changes have come at a cost to our human bodies. The chemicals entering the food we eat are foreign to our systems, making us susceptible to disease and general ill health.
210, we have a liftoff.
While technology has freed us from the daily rigors of hunting and gathering, and many other activities we considered repetitive or disposable, we are progressively becoming weaker and more obese. These factors have combined to form the dilemma humanity is now facing: diabetes.
There aren't enough voices to overcome all these social changes that have happened in our society, and I think we really need to work on that more and more. And that's one of the number of things I think that has to be done in order to prevent what would otherwise be a huge health crisis coming in the mid-century.
We will examine the problem as it exists and look at some of the ways people are fighting it. We'll travel to villages in the Norton Sound area, where a well-known and respected dog musher is speaking to school children about what they can do to prevent the disease. We will come away with a better understanding of why diet and exercise are crucial if we are going to eliminate the scourge of diabetes. As with many medical problems, diabetes doesn't affect every ethnic group with the same tenacity. While no one is immune to its effects, Asians and African Americans are more prone to the disease than Caucasians, and Native Americans are 2 to 3 times more likely than Caucasians to develop diabetes. With this sobering thought, here in the Norton Sound region of Alaska, an effort is being made to head it off at the pass. Until recently, the combination of remoteness, natural foods, and active lifestyle has delayed the onset of diabetes in Alaska's native population. Just like everywhere else, however, Western culture is bringing its processed foods and sedentary living habits to the 49th state.
We're kind of fortunate in Alaska because we've seen in the lower 48 where it's a lot more prevalent now. And I don't know why just yet it hasn't quite reached Alaska. Those numbers that they're seeing down in the lower 48 haven't quite reached Alaska yet. But the great thing is, because we're at the stage where it can be prevented, that's why we're doing all these activities and these programs and awareness. We're just trying to bring diabetes awareness to the region because those numbers can be stopped. It doesn't have to happen. The nice thing is diabetes can be prevented. You can avoid it, and once you get it, you have it for life. So, and I don't think a lot of people around here know that.
This area, secluded from modern man's chemicals, food production, industry, and pollution for so long, is now seeing the arrival of the same changes that have plagued the rest of humanity. There is beginning to be an increased awareness of this deadly disease, and that's just what these people are trying to promote.
Good afternoon, camp. This is Rahnia.
I'm Gussie Ivanoff, and I work in the camp department at Norton Sound Corporation.
Hi.
My name is Kelly Keys.
Okay. For the Step by Step program?
I'm a registered dietitian and the diabetes nutritionist here at the camp department.
You have to fast for 12 hours, so don't eat or drink anything.
Kirk Scofield.
Rahnia Parker.
I work with Rita Binford, the nurse manager, to provide care to a lot of the diabetic patients.
That's the way it's supposed to be. Yep, bye. I oversee the whole program and what different activities we do. I'm a contact person for everybody. I kind of try to organize who's going to be doing what and who's taking care of the different programs that we do.
Their mission: to empower people and communities to promote healthy lifestyles and improve the quality of life for people with chronic illnesses, is far-reaching. It also reflects awareness that the growing shadow of diabetes affects all of Alaska.
We already have the blood measurements, so we can get those.
These dedicated workers are recruiting pre-diabetic people in Norton Sound's 15 villages to participate in screening and prevention programs.
Like EKGs and stuff done.
We had a lot of people come in to get their blood checked. And when they did, with those results, we were actually able to find out if they were pre-diabetic or not.
Of 39 people that responded, 19 were pre-diabetic. Once the risk was established, the camp staff mobilized to fight it. They're taking a novel approach to treatment. Instead of just fixing the symptoms of diabetes, they're educating people about how it begins and putting patients in control of their own care.
What I see is that people change to some degree in relation to how much time and effort is put into helping them understand the need for change.
It's a very chronic disease. It shortens your lifespan. It comes with very severe complications. And usually it's not diabetes itself that kills somebody, but it would be one of the complications that comes with it, like heart disease is the major one, kidney failure, and poor circulation. A lot of people end up getting decreased blood flow to their limbs, and so a lot of times they even get sores on the bottoms of their feet, and they can't feel them. They're numb in the feet. So that's one thing that you have to get checked regularly is are your feet.
What we like to say is that patients are the only player in the game, and that we're only coaches. And it's going to take them being the primary person involved. We can spend a lot of time coaching and helping them to navigate this whole new issue that they have in their life, but it's really something that they need to focus on.
Medications are being developed, and organ transplants can sometimes help. But doctors and researchers agree the best thing to do is to keep healthy and avoid the problem in the first place.
If there is a cure, it's going to be a number of years down the road. And the other thing is if we just said, okay, let's not worry about preventing diabetes because now we can cure it, that cure is going to come at a cost economically. And at a cost as far as the patient's quality of life is concerned too. So we as a society and people individually are still going to be better off focusing on prevention.
The camp department has developed several community outreach programs to encourage people to keep active. Through mini grants, the camp staff is helping communities plan activities that reflect their own needs and cultures.
We take a real individual approach to diabetic planning, so it's based on the person, on what they want to do, what they want to know.
Well, some of them focus on Eskimo dancing because we encourage people to Eskimo dance and to be active that way. Opening up the gym for gym use, hiring a coordinator to be there at night so that people have something to do at nighttime.
One that's going on right now too is the paw prints. It's park and walk, people realizing it's important not to sit. And the idea with that is to add 30 minutes of walking into their day, whether it's walking to work or from work or during their breaks. And it's on top of their regular exercise program.
We highly encourage them to live a traditional lifestyle just because it is a lot healthier. If we encourage them to do their traditional activities, they're a lot more active. And eating traditional foods, they're going to be eating a lot healthier foods that their bodies are adapted to. They also enjoy being social with each other. I think that's one of the big things is also mental health, the mental health behind it. If they're social and having a good time when they're doing something like Eskimo dancing, then they're going to want to do it more often.
In the summer, we'll have Summer Size, which targets kids usually, and they have tons of different activities they can choose from every day. So we're trying to get the kids also. We really focus on the youth, and we really want to start them young, you know, so that it's something that they just continue doing throughout their life.
I'm waiting because I don't want to get a disease.
I have a future ahead of me, and I don't want to mess up my life.
If my husband asks me if he's a first, I want to say yes.
Yes. Because I respect myself. I have so much going for me. A child would only slow me down.
I'm trying to break a cycle.
Sex is a very special thing I only want to share with one person.
There are too many consequences to STDs.
The union between two people.
I would always regret it.
I'm protecting my heart.
Waiting doesn't make you less of a man.
I'm waiting because it's the most precious gift I can give.
Flying in Alaska? Fly Frontier, the official airline of Heartbeat Alaska. Frontier is expanding again. They've added new routes to Nome, Kotzebue, and the surrounding villages. As you can see, Frontier is now really covering Alaska. So the next time you fly, try Frontier. Frontier offers quick, convenient check-in, low fares, and service direct to many of the villages. Frontier Flying Service is the official airline of Heartbeat Alaska. Make it your official airline too.
Hey, big boy.
Joe Garnie has been running sled dogs for most of his life.
Hey, Wrecker. What's going on, big boy? Feeling pretty good, are you? My earliest memory is of riding in the dog sled, and I can't remember if I was even able to walk then, so I've been riding with dogs since I can remember. Hey, girl. Oh! Yeah, I have 36 dogs. I brought a dozen with me here. Whoa, big boy, take it easy now.
In his mission to promote good health and sobriety, he's joined forces with the Norton Sound Health Corporation. He and the camp staff are traveling to villages within Norton Sound as part of a campaign to make kids understand about health and diabetes.
Does anybody know what diabetes is? Sugar diabetes?
Joe Garnie probably right now is our primary celebrity that we use. Like everybody in the Norton Sound knows Joe Garnie, and they know that he's, you know, a musher and that he's promoting a traditional living. And so he's a great role model that we can utilize.
Question. These little ones don't let them get down to business, though, until Joe answers all their questions.
Second, third, fourth, fifth, seventh. It was like an apprentice.
Did your sled ever flip over?
Excuse me? Oh, listen, it flipped over on me at least 3 times on this run between Caltag and Uniclate, this race. And I'm feeling the hurts everywhere.
What year did you start?
What year did I start? Boy, you know, my math is so bad, I'd have to go, I'm 52 years old. I got out of high school, I was probably 19. We'll have to do a little math work. So some mathematician would have to help me out.
What got you into dog mushing?
What got me into dog mushing? Well...
Have you ever had hypothermia? Bring a gun? What's your wife's name? Are you going to go dog mushing with you? Do you have any girl dogs in here?
Yes, I do.
What's the coldest temperature you've ever ran in?
Did one of your dogs ever get sick when you were racing?
Can I have your autograph? Have you ever passed the
Dee Dee Jordan, yes, I've passed her, and I've actually beat her a time or two. Yeah, now she's beaten me in the last few years. I plan on remedying that.
He wants to give the healthy message out too. He thinks that traditional living is important. He thinks that having good nutrition is important. He thinks that staying active is important. And he's also into the sobriety. And so he likes to portray those messages to people, and we know that kids will listen to him. He's a great speaker. You can sit him down with a bunch of kids and they'll be tuned to him for at least a half hour, you know.
Does anybody know how many spoons of sugar in a soda pop?
Part of camp's mission is to instill the importance of drinking water instead of soda pop. As part of their Stop the Pop program, they use this visual aid to bring the point home.
We've gotten several villages around the region to actually stop selling sodas in their school. And that's, it's a huge problem here in the Norton Sound. You know, we see not only kids, but, you know, the adults as well, drinking cans and cans of soda throughout the day. And of course, not only is that bad for your oral hygiene, but it's pretty detrimental to your health too. You shouldn't be having so much, it's pretty much just like sugar water, you know, and that's something that we're trying to decrease in our region. It's just the amount of sugar that kids especially are intaking.
You know, I raise dogs is what I do, and the most important stage is when they're pups. This is the group that I feed the best because they're growing, no different than you are now. You're developing mentally and physically. You will not develop mentally properly if you don't eat well enough. That's a given. If you live on soda pops that have this much sugar in it and chips and not eat all your dinner and your vegetables and fruits, you won't develop as good. You won't get as big and as strong as you should.
I love his analogy with his kids, with his dogs, where he talks about his puppies and having to raise them, and he compares kids to being puppies that are growing up to be these top athletes.
This is a snack. I got all my fish on.
And he wants them to think about how they're feeding themselves and how they're supposed to be growing.
And the dogs get approximately 2 steaks to a snack on the trail on a little break. They don't have a choice in what they eat. You do.
If he's going to feed his dogs junk, how are they supposed to become top athletes when they're adults? And he says the same thing to the kids, or with the kids. He says that you guys need to be feeding yourselves the right things so that you can grow up to be the best that you can.
Well, let me get these 2 pieces in there. This right now, the age that you're at, growing and developing is the most important stage in your life for developing. Here I have reindeer meat. So you have to eat right in order to be able to study properly at school here.
Everybody here knows him, and they know that he lives in a village here, and that he knows what it's like to live here and to grow up here and to experience the same things that they've experienced, and so they can all relate to him.
I want 3 of these. I got no idea what's in there. I don't think it's even mine. Oh, it's our seal meat. I wish I could turn the hands of time back and get stressed to me how important education was going to be for me. There's nothing wrong with being healthy and educated. If you're not eating properly and just living on soda pop and chips and what have you, you can't even attend or function properly and acquire this education that's so important to you. So that's why we're here, to make you aware that you have choices and make a healthy choice.
Diabetes can be prevented, and you do have the power to prevent it from happening. You know, and it's just little steps and little decisions that you make throughout the day about your diet and exercise.
Ideally, you know, we want to get in our protein source, you know, a healthy complex carbohydrate source, you know, like a whole grain, and fruits and vegetables. So depending on the region, you know, fresh fruits and vegetables are always good, but canned works as well. And getting in our dairy sources, so it's really just that balance, drinking water, and cutting down on those real sweetened beverages will really help out to prevent diabetes.
Although diabetes is working its way up to Alaska, the efforts being made by these people and others like them have the potential to turn the tide. From grandparents teaching harmonious living to their offspring now choosing their path, the foundation is being laid for tomorrow's world.
Nothing wrong with being healthy.
Whether that world will be filled with a strong, healthy population or a group of struggling and ailing people, that's being decided now.
Keep on making healthy choices. That's going to get you into your future.
The power to stop diabetes lies with the people of this land.
Everybody in this region has a choice of whether they're going to get it or not by making the right choices, the right lifestyle choices. And so because we have that choice, I hope that most people will take it to heart and decide that they want to live the best life that they can.
Thank you so much, Norton Sound Health Corporation, for your incredible help on this story and all points in between. Thank you, Uniloclete, and everyone that participated. Without your help, we wouldn't be able to share diabetes and its prevention with the rest of the state and other states and other countries, in fact. Be looking forward to watching Heartbeat Alaska and other programming. We come to you and from different villages sharing their efforts in the prevention of diabetes. Remember, it's exercise and eating right. Let's get out there and let's start walking. I know I started. God bless every single one of you. Join me again next week for more Heartbeat Alaska.
We got Joe Garnie on the flats coming in. Supposed to be coming down this trail. I don't know. He might have slid down the other way and came this way.
Right next to it. Which is the closest place to go to see the dog? Down into our dog lot? That's a nice place. Back to 14 Ducks? That's even further. Yeah. How about no? That's even further. How about Anchorage? That's even further. New York City. That's even further. Somebody's coming. That's too good.
Get any sleep? No? Holy cow!
I got a little dreamy on this.
Yeah.